This is We Bleed Orange and Black, the podcast for Halloween and horror lovers. Join us as we interview creators, discuss our favorite folklore, and share original spooky stories. I'm Jeff C. Carter, and this week we're talking with Patrick Tumblety about his new book, The October Children. Patrick Tumblety is an author of horror, science fiction, and poetry, and has been featured in numerous anthologies and poetry collections. His premiere horror novel, Come Out and Play, debuted in September 2024 from Uncomfortably Dark Horror. His work has been described as being able to deliver both genuine fear and genuine hope. Patrick, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
I would toss out an icebreaker question, but this is your fourth appearance, so I think...
Yeah, I think we know each other by now.
Yeah, not much ice left. How's it going, man? What have you been up to?
A lot of writing. Writing on different aspects, different subgenres of horror. I have a lot planned for the next coming year, a lot done for this last half of the year. And yeah, I'm just kind of riding that wave.
Nice. I feel like you've been teasing me with this project for a while now. I looked back at my old notes and I'm like, hey, when is this October Children coffee table book coming out? And now it's finally here and it's gorgeous. Why don't you catch us up on the inspiration and the origins of this project?
Yeah, so it has been a while. I looked at this project as a marathon, not a sprint. I love anything Halloween, as most horror writers do. I'm sure you relate. It's always in the background of everything I do. I mean, Halloween is my inspiration for what I do. It's my favorite memories as a kid. So at least once a year, I try to do something creative during the season, or at least for the season. And that's when I originally started the podcast. The October Children was a way to get these small seasonal pieces out to the world, anything visual. So whether it's, movies, comic books, as much as I love writing, I miss having a visual component to a lot of things. So I wanted to take those stories that I did and the imagery that I thought of, because Halloween is a very visual friendly thing with the purples and oranges and blacks and greens. And I wanted to do something that married, visual Halloween with storytelling. And so I took the pieces that I really liked from the show and commissioned someone for a book version of it. That someone I found was Drew Roush, who is an incredible comic book artist. But his illustrations, the second I saw them, the colors he uses, the designs of the characters was exactly what I wanted to see from my stories. I proposed it to him. He immediately said, absolutely, this is something I've always wanted to do. That's really what started it. And I said to him, I go, I have a lot of things I'm writing. I have a lot of things I'm doing. It's going to be more of a marathon, not a sprint. I go, but, since he's a freelancer, I'm technically a freelancer when it comes to writing. We can do this, not make it stressful on ourselves, but do it when the mood strikes us. And that's what we did. And it finally all came together. Then in the tail end of 2024, I met Mark Ciano of October Nights Press at a convention, actually an author's convention. And I said that I loved the stuff that he was selling at his booth because a lot of it was 90s nostalgia horror. I actually bought stickers from him that look like the Halloween McNuggets that they used to sell at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Because those were an iconic Halloween thing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm writing a book that hopefully garners the same kind of feeling.
It's got big spooky McNugget energy.
Yeah, spooky McNugget energy. That's a good way to put it.
I think I found your next tattoo, Patrick.
Spooky McNugget energy. I would love that. That'd be a good t-shirt. But at the time, I had a bunch of Drew's art on me because we and him were corresponding back and forth on it. And I showed Mark there on the spot, and he absolutely loved it. 2 days later, I got home. I gave him the full proposal, gave him everything that we did, the plan to finish it. And he said, absolutely. And that's basically what got the ball rolling to finish it.
Fantastic. Can you paint a little bit more of a picture about Drew Roush's art style and how it was adapted to some of the pieces that you picked out?
Yeah, so Drew does a very interesting thing where his appeal can be very frightening and very playful at the same time. A lot of Drew's work that I saw that I really liked was he would do like pumpkin creatures and vampires that were very angular and very stylized with very long line work and bright color. And that's the kind of thing that appeals to me. I'm a big fan of artists like Tim Sale from like the Batman comics. A lot of people know him from who does a lot of line work like that, but still has like bright imagery to it. Drew adds this color to it that like kind of screams the season, you know? That's the thing I liked about it, is that it's that his stuff was so stylized that it was creepy, but yet also really cool to look at. And because I knew I wanted this to be all ages, that I felt like that was the best of both worlds, is that it looked playful and creepy at the same time. So it was almost like a celebration of Halloween for kids in the best way I could see fit, where it's like this kind of creepy, but it's such a fun looking thing that I like it.
It's also so visually dense. There's all this gradation and texture, but there's tons of little details that make it fun to look at these pictures over and over again, and you can find something new every time.
That's one thing I really enjoyed about working with Drew, is that, you know, he had his heart in the project too, and it was very apparent, because the way that we worked, I would give him some ideas, but really I wanted him to interpret on his own, and then we would kind of talk about it, and he would always add these really cute little touches to things that like I wouldn't even see the first time. And so like what he would give me, like the final piece would have all of these little hidden things in it that like you could tell that like I think, you know, a lot of artists would just, you know, they would do the commission, they would do the best they can, and then Drew found ways to really make it personable and really make it shine with all these like little details that he really pushed the envelope with each one, and I really appreciated it.
I feel like that's what really brings it to that next level of a coffee table book, or almost like an art object. It's not just a photograph of fall leaves that you can admire and then flip past. You can stay with each image and just explore on every page. The way that your words and his images work together are just, it really proves why graphic art is one of the superior art forms. It's so much more than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, and that's what I was really hoping for. I always feel that way about visual arts, is that they are more than the sum of their part. Like it's just, it brings it all together. One of the ways that I think Drew and I worked well is because, you know, I wanted to write it in such a way that it drew imagery in someone else's mind. I wasn't beholden to it, right? You could still interpret it.
To give an example of this balancing act between cute and creepy, would you do us the honor of reading one of your pieces, Constant Cravings?
Oh, absolutely. Let me pull it up. Constant Cravings. Zombies thrive under a harvest moon. The warmer the weather, the harder for them to stay together, and it's too hot to shamble around in June. How could anyone live through the gloom of spring, overgrown with pastels in bloom? Plain green sways in a wind that says nothing at all. The dead come to life in the fall. Their bones freeze when the winter starts to blow, and their shambling gives way to falling on ice. When they flail and fret and struggle to stand, they, begrudgingly, leave angels in the snow. Which is why they only come out in the fall, when the blaze has dried and the winter sleeps, and the world is welcome to all. Even the dead come to life in the fall.
Almost every one of these pieces in the October Children, it captures the mood, but it also invites you in to the season. And then you've got this riot of zombies on the page, and they're really gross, but slightly ridiculous looking. It's a really strong page out of the book.
I appreciate it. One of the things that I always try to do, I think with anything I try to create, is always have the dichotomy of the opposite. And what I mean by that is that, you know, I think it's something I learned going to film school, where it's like, if you're saying something, don't show it because you're already saying it. If you're showing something, don't say it, do the opposite. And so I kind of kept that in mind, whereas, you know, if everybody already has their Halloween memories, I'm not trying to replace them. I'm trying to heighten them. So instead of saying, you know, a story about the first time I saw a zombie film, I did a really funny thing about, you know, zombies falling around in winter, which I thought was really funny. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I think the way you said it was the best. I'm trying to invite other people to think about their own memories, and then just give them a cute little, you know, by giving them a cute little thing to think about.
I think it's Kick Cereal, which is kids tested, mother approved. Have you tested the October Children on your own kids?
Yes, actually, I did test it on my daughter, and she really liked it. She actually got a firsthand of some of the pieces because she was one of the voices when I did the audio show.
Right. Yeah.
In fact, I think one of the stories you sent me, she was a voice on.
Yeah.
So she got to witness a lot of the stuff that I wrote firsthand when we actually just went to record it. So she definitely approved it, and she loves the artwork. So yeah.
Nice.
It was tested.
Kid tested, Patrick approved,
Yep.
podcast approved. So you were saying before we started recording, this book is already out and available?
It is. It's already out and available. We really wanted to get it out for the fall season. It's available in both hardback and paperback.
Excellent. Before I let you go, I really want to know about One Fright Only. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so One Fright Only is my second novel, my sophomore novel, from Uncomfortably Dark Horror. It is a love letter to slashers and murder mysteries. I call it a Halloween-themed Scream story. It's about a young guy who's trying to help support his family, so he gets a job at his favorite childhood haunt, which is this local farm that puts on a big extravaganza, hay rides and haunted houses and bonfires and apple cider, and it's a big celebration every Halloween. And so he figures, oh, I'm going to make money at a place I love. This will be good. But while he's there, he sees some very strange things happening. He doesn't really get along with any of his coworkers, and they kind of all have their own shady personalities. A couple people, they go missing, and people like, oh, they just resigned and they left, and he doesn't think that that's true. And a couple other things start to nag at him, and he thinks that maybe something sinister is going on here, and he thinks that might happen on Halloween night when they open. Is he being paranoid, or is something really sinister going on? It's kind of my love letter to like very murder mystery, Agatha Christie kind of whodunits, kind of wrapped up in a Halloween slasher.
The cover is great. It does make me wonder, what is the whimsy level on this book? Because the cover's kind of cute.
Well, the cover is also Drew Roush.
Yeah.
So the thing I liked about the cuteness of the cover is I wanted to harken back to the kind of old style, like One Fright Only, like one night only, come to the carnival kind of thing. So that's kind of where the whimsy came from. And there's also an undercurrent in the story about childhood versus adulthood and the way that those two things change your perception of the world. The main character is really struggling with the idea that he has to support his family. He has to let his childhood go and die in order to become an adult, which also goes into, is he being paranoid because he's not used to being in a job with these amount of people who, like peers who are different than he is? Is it just him not being able to adjust as an adult? There's a childlike wonder to this young man that is being erased by adulthood. And so it's a little of both. So it's like, it's a serious slasher, but through the eyes of someone who still wants to believe that Halloween is fun and not about this threat of death. And so, yeah, so it's kind of like the best of both worlds when it comes to Halloween. Are we talking about, somebody is going around literally stabbing people to death? Or are you just seeing it through a child's eyes and think something sinister is going on when there's really nothing there?
When you take your passion and turn that into the thing that makes money, then you will just view it as extra work. And then when you're done with work, you won't have that as a release or an outlet or a hobby.
Yeah, there's a lot of that theme that kind of runs throughout the book. There's a lot of guilt that he feels about taking this job. He did it because he didn't want to become an adult, but he felt like he had to out of obligation. However, he could have taken a higher paying job if he was going to do that. So he feels guilty about taking this one that makes him feel good too. And so there's a lot of like a play there, about, am I really being an adult, or am I holding too much on, and should I hold on? And, those kind of questions.
That's awesome. I can't wait to get my hands on this one. You've promised it to me. I have not received it yet.
It's actually got sent out this morning. So,
okay.
So you will get a package.
Oh, fantastic. I would have accepted an ebook.
No, I know, but I know you like Halloween as much as I do. I mean, you have this podcast, so you're actually going to get sent the whole package. There'll be a map in there of the grounds.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Popcorn, if you want to pop some popcorn while you're eating. Oh yeah, you're going to get the whole package.
All right. I'm very excited. I can't wait to ring in the October month with that. So you had mentioned that you've been writing like a fiend. Got a lot coming down the pipe in the new year. What can you tell us about? What projects are you working on next?
I'm working on my next novel now. It's going well. I'm just kind of pumping it out, but I'm also working on another book that I don't want to talk about yet because I'm kind of learning. It's going to be under horror genre, but it's going to be a little bit different. I want to try to do something with that maybe extends past the page. Maybe have an accompanying thing with it, I'll say. But yeah, I'm working on my next horror novel now, which I'm really excited about. It's more of a personal project than this one was, but it's basically the quick premise is about a guy who gets a chance to go back in time in his 16-year-old body to save the life of his girlfriend who mysteriously vanished when he was 16. So I'm working on that. And yeah, just a bunch of other shorts that I'm working on, a collection I'm trying to finish up. So yeah, just writing as much as I can to get more out there. I'm in an anthology that's coming out on October 13th from Water Tower Press. It's called Hotel of Haunts, and definitely encourage people to pick that up because it's me and a bunch of really awesome writers doing a story in each room of a hotel. And the book tells an overall story about the history of this hotel. So each person was able to pick the room that they wanted to tell their story in. There's a wraparound story to it as well. I chose the lobby. Yeah, I'm in that. That comes out October 13th, and I highly recommend people pick that up too because there's a lot of really great writers in that.
I feel like every year we chat about what our Halloween's going to look like. Do you have any plans yet?
Well, I'm already off to a pretty exciting start with the books coming out. I have 2 Halloween-themed books, so I'm like riding the high of that. But as for plans, I do plan to hit up a lot of the local haunts in the area that I haven't gotten a chance to yet. Like a couple things in Pennsylvania I want to go to, a couple farms, a couple haunted houses. Going back to Frightland, which is right here in Delaware, which is amazing. Going to the penitentiary, the Terror Behind the Walls in Philly. So all my usual things. So I'm excited about that. And I've already planned a bunch of movie nights with my friends. And then I'm also doing I'm a huge Magic the Gathering player. Mm-hmm. And so my friends that I play with, we are all building a horror themed deck, commander deck. And so we're going to do like a 3-hour or ever long it takes, Halloween commander, marathon with Halloween music and the whole boot. So yeah.
That's awesome. Are there any that are like specifically horror focused?
Not IP, but there have been some incredible horror-focused sets that they've come out with. Earlier this year, they came out with an incredible set. My goal would be to write a novel for this set. Like I would love to pitch it to Magic, but it's called Duskmorn. And it's an entire realm because Magic is all different multiverses, right? So it's a realm that is one giant ever-growing house that's haunted. And so they had, investigators go in, from different realms, all the creatures go in and humans. And there's so many evil things in the house, and the house has one entity that controls it all, and it's amazing. And then they also do one of my favorite sets ever is called Innistrad. And the theme and the flavor is like old school horror, werewolves, vampires, and it's like old Victorian era, like thatched roof houses, kind of like getting victimized by the monsters in the cornfields and things like that, and it's excellent. So those two are fantastic.
Patrick, where can our listeners find you online?
You can find me anywhere really. Facebook is mostly dedicated to my writing, just at Patrick Tumblety. And my email is speakerpatrick, SPEAKERPATRICK @gmail.com. If anybody ever wants to get a hold of me, or, I always encourage people for feedback. All of the books are, on Amazon or directly from the publisher. That's where you can find me. I also have a website. If you just search my name, Patrick Tumblety, it's a Wix website. That'll come up. I post about current projects there. I'm kind of all over the place. Just feel free to friend me.
All right. Well, Patrick, thanks for coming back on the show. Thanks for telling us about these awesome books, and I hope you have a very happy Halloween.
You too. Thanks for having me again.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe and follow. We're now on YouTube. Links are in the show notes. You can find me at jeffccarter.com and hit the link to pick up my collection, We Bleed Orange and Black, 31 fun-sized tales for Halloween. Until next time, stay spooktacular.